Welcome to Legacy in Bloom. Welcome to the Legacy in Bloom podcast. I am your host, Jermeshia Goudeau. And today our episode is From the Boardroom to the Bedroom.
Okay.
And I have none other than my best friend, Jacklyn Minimah-Wilson.
Hey.
Yes, Jacklyn is the CEO of a nonprofit organization. And I'm just so glad that you're here with me.
Well, I'm glad to be here with you, Jermeshia. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm glad that
This
you...
is exciting.
This is so
It
exciting,
is
right?
exciting.
So I decided let's bring our telephone calls.
Okay.
Let's bring it to the screen.
Let's
Let's bring it to the screen. And what we're usually doing on the other side of our telephone calls is drinking wine.
Yes,
So,
our favorite pastime.
so let's pour it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep. No, I got it. I got it, girl. What we're drinking today? My wine vibes. Okay, this is a Convine. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Ooh, a nice cab.
You know, I love me a good old Hardy. I love me a full-bodied red wine.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, just full-bodied, dramatic, like myself. Let me hold it.
Yes, like herself.
Like myself. So I'm not trying to get you drunk on here.
It's okay.
It's gonna have
Just a little sip.
a little sip.
Yes.
And this bottle right here, this
Take a
microphone.
smell. That smells good.
It does smell
It
good.
does smell good. Yes.
So I did pour a little wine on it. Okay. So
Are we gonna take a sip? We gonna cheers, toast?
yes, toast.
Ooh,
It's nice, right?
It's nice.
So this is one of
That's good.
our mothers owns this wine company. So
Okay.
yes, I'll give you all the details later.
Nice.
So yeah, but no, well, like I said, I wanted to bring our phone calls to the screen. But so today's topic is from the boardroom to the bedroom. So Jacklyn, like I said, she's a CEO of a nonprofit organization. She has a very demanding career. She's a mother.
Yes.
She's a wife.
Yes.
And
A mover
sometimes
and shaker.
a mover and a shaker, okay? And sometimes we don't, we put a lot of emphasis on our careers and we put a lot of emphasis on our children.
Yes.
But sometimes their wife usually kind of falls to the wayside.
Just a little bit.
I look to the wayside sometimes. So do you think we can have it all?
Why not?
Okay.
Why can't we have it all? I mean, if I think women, we wear so many hats.
Mhm.
So why should we limit ourselves? Why can't we have it all? Now, the thing about is having it all, there's a balance to where, there are different times, and we were just talking about this before the camera roll, like different seasons to where one thing might need more of attention and then something might get left on the wayside. So I feel like you can have it all. It's just something that you just have to balance. It's a juggling act, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think where I find personally difficult is balancing not my career, because my career, that's how I pay my bills.
Of course.
So I feel like it always gets my attention, and all the time it gets my attention. And then I prioritize my children there.
Yes.
And so I have a hard time balancing the mom guilt versus the spouse guilt.
Yes.
And I do understand that my children will only be, kids and minors for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I got to have my husband around, after these kids get out the household. But that mom guilt is real because I understand that my children didn't ask to be here.
Of course.
And so my sister's struggling over here, Jack.
It's hard. And it's so funny that you mentioned this because I read an article this morning where the writer talks about what's important in a marriage. So if something happens to where, let's say if my mom, Miss Rosemary, were to call me and then my husband and then my child, who am I going to attend to first? And it's hard because I had to think about that. Naturally,
That's a good one, right?
I would say my child, but in the process of reading this article, I'm like, well, I would have to put my husband as a priority because I'm grown. I left my mother's house. She raised me. And then when Simone is grown, she's going to leave and find her a partner. And so at the end of the day, Vincent and I are going to be left at home looking at each other like, hey. And so it's so important for us to really realize what our spouse's needs are, but also not forgetting that we do have minors that we are tending to too.
Yeah.
So that mom guilt that you mentioned is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard. So it's one of those things, the mind and the heart.
Yes.
So my mind tells me, I know I need to prioritize my husband.
Yep.
But my heart is like,
I got
the kids need this.
Yes.
And then the more kids you have, it really pulls on you because it becomes where all the kids' needs are different at different times of their life.
Yeah.
And so your daughter is active right now.
Oh, Lord. Is she ever? Is she ever active? Simone is going on 13. Her birthday's coming up here in a week.
Birthday.
And so she'll be 13. So she plays club volleyball. She's in club track. And she has choir at school. She's in GT classes. And so just knowing all the responsibilities that we have for her, but then also within our household as well, too. And I told Vincent the other night, I said, like, I feel like we're two ships passing in the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll wake up in the morning, take care of Simone. We go to work, do our own separate thing, come back home, and it's all about Simone. At the end of the night, I'm ready to go to sleep at 9 o'clock. And I'm like, I have not had 30 minutes enough to talk to my husband. And so, and I talk to Jermeshia about this often, is like, I have to schedule dates with my husband. Like, we have one tonight.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. So we have one tonight. And then we usually do like midday coffee dates or lunch dates, knowing that, you know, our priority is Simone, but we also have to prioritize each other.
Yeah. It feels like, so when I was dating, I never felt like I would have to manage my relationships like I do my job.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And I hate that I have to schedule time with my husband. Like, that drives me crazy.
It does, yeah.
But if it's not scheduled,
it won't happen.
It
will not happen.
And it's the most, like, I love the spontaneity. Like,
yes.
we were dating, you know, spontaneity. You know,
it just what got you going.
Yeah, got you going. You know, that's where the intimacy in our relationship came from, was the, you know, the spontaneity, the
living on the edge,
living in the moment.
Yes.
And then now, as our careers, you know, become more demanding, as our children and they become more demanding, it's like the stresses that it puts on our relationships.
Right.
Are
it's hard, but also at the same time too, though, when I think about it, with Justin and Vincent, they both have careers and they're just as busy as well too. And so thinking about the multiple hats that they wear, knowing that they're taking care of a household, making sure their businesses, because they're both self-employed and also work for other businesses, like they're trying to prioritize those things as well too. So just like how we have that guilt, I'm sure they're also feeling the same thing as well too, knowing like, okay, I have to take care of my household, but I also need to love on my wife as well too. So I try not to share that on my own. I share it with my husband, and I'm like, hey, you haven't scheduled a day for us lately. It's your turn. So we have to take turns and really making sure that we have that valuable time for each other. Honestly, whether it's like we might lay up and watch Netflix and pause the shows and talk about the shows on Netflix and drink a glass of wine. Like, that's what we do. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but I do agree with you. When we were dating, we just take random trips, just go to listen to live music or just do whatever. But, you know, life happens to where things have shifted. And it's okay for the shift to happen, but just don't lose focus on what's important.
Yeah, and the Netflix chill and pause.
Hey, that's the thing.
Okay, yeah, real chill.
Yes, it's real chill. We'll talk about it.
But I think as women, I think we're more so fixers.
We are.
And so where I think our spouses will say, okay, maybe I do need to prioritize my wife and, you know, intimacy in our relationship, but it boggles us down when we're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Like trying to figure out how do I infuse intimacy in my relationship? How do I add spice back into my marriage? Do I make sure that I'm giving my husband enough time? Do I make sure I give my children enough time? And, you know, my focus on my career, like, I think it really takes a toll on us mentally.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to figure out how can we fix it.
Yeah.
And I think we always have to come to terms that we can't always fix it.
We cannot. And it's okay. It's okay. And I think one thing that Jermeshia and I have in common is we can have the takeover spirit, and there is a level of control that we have. But in my ripe age, I've realized it's okay to not have control. It's okay to let go and just let things happen organically or naturally, to where I can't bog my mind and thinking like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. Because with me putting all that extra emphasis on things that have to be done, I'm like forgetting about things that are important and what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Focus on what's in front of me.
That sounds good.
It does sound good. It does. Things better sound like it sounds good. But in actuality, I think you just have to be in the present. And so for us being in this new year, new season, I was telling my team the other day, y'all, I have to focus on the present. Like in the role, you have to strategically plan on your business, but also you also have to just be in the moment and not lose sight of what is in front of you.
Yeah, no, and I think, I mean, that's true. You have to just look and really internalize you.
Yes, absolutely.
As well. And I realize as well, when I'm in fixer mode,
Yes.
I am giving, nothing is getting everything,
Yeah.
of me.
Yes.
Because my mind is
always thinking.
It's always thinking.
Yes.
And it's like something I have to fix versus an organic, it's okay, let's schedule this date night.
Yes.
So I can say that I went on a date night with my husband. And instead of when I'm there, it's like, something I achieved.
Yes.
Like, it feels like my career. Like, I feel like I manage it like an expectation on my job.
Right.
And that's what drives me, me crazy, is that when I'm in that moment, it feels like an achievement. Because of, it's like, oh, went on a date with my husband.
Yeah.
Had sex with my husband.
Yeah.
I don't know, why do we have to spell it?
Because we're talking
I don't
the
know.
border to the
Yes, did it, have I made sure, it just feels like, and I think it's because I have to manage my day and my career.
Right.
And because your career, it really takes over a large part of our identity.
It does.
And so I hate that though, but I'm trying to work on that.
Right.
Because I don't want to manage my relationship. I don't want to.
Okay.
But I think the first step I'm going to have to do is to manage it.
Okay.
Is to schedule it. And then I can start working on making it more fluid. And because first I just want to make sure it happens. Like, I love my husband. And I miss having the opportunity to just love on him.
Okay.
And have that time where we're not, distracted by the needs of the children.
Right.
And just...
or just anything in general, environmental noise.
Just environmental noise. So, but one thing Justin did tell me.
Okay.
He told me to be selfish because he is.
I was about to say that. Because as you're talking about being the fixer and planner and doing all these things, like, what are you planning for yourself?
Yeah. That's what he told me. He was like, I'm selfish.
Yes. And you have to be selfish, and it's okay.
I was just like,
your kids are selfish.
I was like, I couldn't believe that he acknowledged, I never said like he would, but he like, it is what it is,
But he was honest to say that it's okay because I am. So if you have to be selfish, I understand.
Yes. And in that moment, I felt like I got permission. But I needed...
yeah, you needed to hear it.
I needed to hear it so I wouldn't feel the guilt.
Yep.
And it was very relieving.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Since he told you to be selfish, Jermeshia, what are you doing in this present moment to be selfish?
I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Like, I feel like everything that I've done is for everybody else.
Okay.
And so creating this podcast, I felt like it was something for me.
Okay. That's
like,
good.
Everything, from the job, from the, from my career, for everything, I feel like I'm a giver. I'm a lover, and I want to make sure that everybody is okay.
Yes.
So taking this moment for me
good.
is something I felt was it was about me.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this is, and it might be corny for me, like, you decided to do a podcast to be selfish. Yeah, I did, right?
But in real life, for those that know Jermeshia, like, this is her element.
Yeah, it is.
Like, this is her element. Like, I just remember when we went to school together, Oprah was her person, right? And so to see her in this space, I'm like, this is you.
Yeah.
You have arrived.
I have arrived.
And you were here doing it. Yes.
I am here. Yes.
Good night.
But no. That's one thing I felt like, being self. Because even when I'm away, I want to be with my kids. Like, having that self-care time to, like, go away, and every once in a while. But I really enjoy, my children, and I really enjoy, my career. And for somebody that never wanted to have kids,
baby, and has three.
And it's just beautiful. But I do want to, I do want to make sure that I continue to have that intimacy that is not so driven around my career and my children, and making sure that my husband and I are good. Because if we're not good,
then everything else
is not good.
So true.
The kids won't be good.
So true.
If our foundation of family is not secure.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, so first of all, financially, I love my husband, but I also like to have two incomes coming into my household. Okay, let's just be real about it.
Let's be real.
Like, lean into your legacy, and legacy and bloom is about, how do we build our legacy? And part of that legacy is financially driven, like having financial security.
Absolutely.
And, building wealth. And it is easier to build wealth with two incomes contributing to a household. So I don't want to be divorced.
Is that hard?
It's hard.
I talk to single friends. It's hard.
It's hard.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to, create a financial foundation for my children, for myself, and for the generations to come.
Okay. Right.
So yeah, whatever need to happen.
It needs to happen. It needs to happen.
Maybe I need to drink some of this wine.
You might need to. But just thinking about that topic, Jermeshia, Vincent and I had this conversation a few days ago. And I think one of the things that we try to do is walk away from the house to where, regardless of if Simone is there, it's just like when you step away from the household, it is so important for you to just be in tune with each other. And so for us, we might go to a coffee shop or go to the library or something and kind of talk about what's happening. And one of the things, our topics coming up next week is our finances, our family finances, and thinking about where we need to make some adjustments on where our future goals are for ourselves, being really independent on stepping out on faith and trying a new business market. So those things are very key. And one of the things that we have to do is we have to step out of the house, because anytime we're in the house, we can easily get distracted or go back into our comfort zone to where we just kind of go back in our own little corner. But being in a space where we can have those honest conversations about family finances and where we see ourselves 3, 5, 7 years from now.
Okay.
And those conversations are crucial in a marriage. Very crucial. Can we talk about it? Woo! Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. We said we're taking the phone call.
Yes.
Yeah. So being real.
Let's be real.
Being real. Financial infidelity.
Oh.
So financial infidelity is, I think, more crushing than physical infidelity of cheating. Like trusting your spouse with your finances and the financial future and foundation of your. So I think when you said that, I was over here like, oof.
She's speaking to somebody.
Yeah. Having conversations about finances is so important.
Absolutely.
Knowing that your spouse and the two of you are on the same page about the financial goals of the household. Right. And, if one person is a spender, one person is a saver, or even if both of you are committed to. One thing I realized, I went to a marriage and real estate conference that the Sheltons hosted, and they talked about write down your 5-year goals.
Yeah.
Justin and I had the same 5-year goals. We were like,
okay, y'all are the same.
Then they said, come up with your action plan to reach the 5-year goals.
And what happened?
Oh, girl, that is, when I say it was like, we were literally, and then, as a family, it was marriage and real estate. And it was so separate.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, but it was, we were, let's look at the wins.
Okay.
Our goals were the same.
That's important.
It was important, but how we reached those goals were so different.
Right. And that's okay too.
And it's okay. It's okay too. But in order to come together as a family unit, it let us know that we need to sit down and we need to talk about, how do we come together with we both could do, what we do best,
right,
and still achieve, the goals.
Yeah.
And just because financial intimacy, let me tell you, I don't know how good the statistic is because I'm not looking it up right now.
Right.
But I've seen where most people divorce not because of cheating. It's because most divorces are because of finances.
That's the biggest one.
And so financial intimacy, trusting your spouse, financially, and knowing that is a big component of the intimacy factor.
It is.
In the marriage.
Yeah, I agree.
So, spending more time there, sex is important.
It's important.
But also having conversations about finances.
Yeah.
Oof.
I mean, it's real. And so I don't know the statistics. I'm going to gauge it to be anywhere from 50 to 65%. But that's one of those things that end up in dissolution in marriage is finances, and then I think it's communication and then sex. I could have the order wrong, but I know finances is a big thing. And so when you lack that conversation, it's like your family is then struggling in silence when there's no conversations being had.
Absolutely.
And so, and I think it's so key and important. Whereas I'm glad that you and Justin did sit down and talk about those goals, because honestly, if you set a 3, 5, or 7-year goal, in that steps to achieve those goals, your goals might have to be readjusted.
Absolutely.
And so if those conversations are happening often and frequent, then you know that you guys are in sync and in step together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very important.
Yeah, because I think sometimes we feel like we can talk about everything.
Yes.
And, we have conversations with our girlfriends all the time, and it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. It has to be had, though.
But it has to be had for the longevity and the sustainability of our marriages. And we just don't want to be in marriages for a long time.
No.
We want to have a fruitful, enjoyable, and enjoy in our marriages. And so to have that transparency, I think is so important.
It's key. And then when you look at it on the flip side, because we're both leading our organizations or companies, you have to manage the finances of your organization or your company. If not, it's going to fail. So you mentioned earlier, sometimes you treat scheduling things and making a priority, because if you don't schedule, it won't happen. So if you don't schedule business meetings with your business partners or your accountant or whomever, your business is going to fail. So if you don't give that same attention to your marriage is going to fail. So you invest that same amount of time as you would your business being successul, as you would your marriage being successful.
You know why? Because you don't want your business to fail.
And you don't want your marriage to fail.
Talk about it.
Let me drink on that.
That we need to. That's a moment. That's a cheers.
Cheers. Salute to that.
Salute to that. No, that is the truth. That is the truth. I need to put a pause on that one. Let me take that.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get another one.
No. That was a word right there. Okay.
Hello.
Nobody else received it. I did. Oh God. I'm talking. I'm like, ooh, you just hit. That was something. You're talking about me. Yeah. Oh yes. You're stepping on my toes. But no, that's real. But I want, to, really truly, just take everything to the next level. And I think that's my personal goal for myself.
Yes.
For me to lean into my legacy is to first reflect on my life,
right,
on the things that I have room and areas to improve on, how to make them better, but make it fun.
Yeah,
make it,
have fun while you're doing it.
Have fun when I'm doing it. Make it organic, and make it not feel as if, I'm a dictator, because sometimes when we take that boardroom energy into the bedroom, it don't work.
Oh man.
We're that alpha female energy. You can't, two alphas, that two alpha energies, and our husbands are very, very much so alpha men.
Ooh, yes, they are.
They very much so. So, we have to suppress that boardroom energy in our bedrooms.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
I hear Vincent. He was like, "So, are we in a business meeting or are we in a marriage? Like, is this how you talk to your team? I'm not one of your employees." So those are the conversations that come up.
That's a real conversation.
It's a real conversation.
That's a real conversation.
And so one thing that I do frequently is I check myself with Jermeshia. My other best friend is Erica, and they'll both say, yeah, that was probably not the best way to handle that. And I have to forget, because I'm always in that mode. And I have to remember I'm at home. So it's okay to chill out and be submissive and just be in it with your husband and allow him to lead the household like he's supposed to. That is something I'm working on in 2025. I promise. Yeah. Hold me accountable, y'all. Hold me accountable.
Submissiveness.
Yes. Can you imagine this Leo, alpha female?
No. I can. I'm gonna pray for you though.
Please do.
Because out of all the 20-something years, I've never known that energy. So we're gonna, so submissiveness. Okay, so that word. First of all, we're gonna need a whole other episode
part 2
to talk about submissiveness in marriages of alpha women and being submissive in their marriages. That's a whole
nother topic.
Because submissiveness, it has different meanings.
It does.
And so I think,
come on, Jermeshia.
Well, it's just that submissiveness sounds so weak. And I had to change my outlook on submissiveness, that it did not make me weak, because that's something that I struggle with as well.
Right.
Is because I come from a very matriarchal household, and our women are strong women. So submissiveness sounded like weakness.
Yeah.
And I had to understand, especially if we're looking from, as from a Christian perspective, and taking it from the institution of marriage perspective, that submissiveness it's not a weakness. But this is the word that I heard from marriage counseling.
Okay.
We have a New Baptist Church. Okay. Is that we have to understand that we're being submissive to the right partner.
That's it.
And our partners they have to trust. It has to be trust involved on both sides. And so they have to submit to us being, sometime, if we know that we're better in finances.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, just let me lead here.
Yeah.
That's arrogance of them to say, I know I'm weak in this area, but because I'm the man, that I'm just going to do it because I'm the man.
Right.
Sometimes that submissiveness isn't,
it's reciprocated at times.
It's reciprocated. And it's also where I trust you as being the leader of my household.
Yes.
Just like, go back to the boardroom. In the boardroom, sometimes we delegate things to people who we know are better than us in that task.
Yes, that's true.
And being a leader, even in your household, and I think that's what kind of expecting. I had to shift the principles of, as him being the leader in my household,
right,
that I trust that he would appoint me to where he sees my strength, and that I can better the household.
Yes.
And that's the leadership that that's the submissiveness that I respect.
Yes.
It's that knowing that he would never do anything to
jeopardize
our union and our security of our household.
Yeah.
And that's the leadership.
So I can agree with that on both aspects, and where there's a negative connotation in being submissive. And so I too share that as well too. And so in having conversations with Vincent, I told him, I'm like, I want to be submissive. I don't want to be the one that always has to make the decisions or make those moves. Like, I just want to be in a space where I can trust, let's say trust that whatever your decisions are is going to be in the best interest of our family.
Yeah.
And so, to where you said, knowing that, and he has years on me, to where if he realizes, okay, this is not my level of expertise, this is not my ministry, let me lean on my wife because I know she does this well.
Right.
And so just trusting what that is, I feel like is going to help our union, and then help me to just learn to, okay, you don't have control. Allow him to lead, and you just sit there and see what he has to do.
Yeah.
So
we're working on it.
It's a work in progress, and I'm actually okay with it.
I am perfectly. I don't mind being a kept woman that just sits around and just make sure, oh, baby, you got your lunch today.
But I don't think that would last long.
No, it probably would not last very long.
Yes, no.
But I wouldn't be opposed to. No, I probably would be opposed to. That was
2 weeks.
2 weeks. You think?
My husband said I wouldn't last that long. I said, I just want to be a housewife. He was like, you move around too much to be a housewife. It might get worn after the first.
There are different kind of housewives these days.
Yeah. I want to be the PTO president. I want to make cookies.
I want to eat the cookies. Okay. Yeah. I want to eat the cookies. But I am so excited that we were able to have this conversation. Hopefully no one was offended in the production of the boardroom to the bedroom. But I would love to I'll thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a part of my journey and on this. But if you enjoyed this episode, click on the link below, subscribe to Legacy in Bloom podcast. And let me tell you, it's more of this where this came from.
Yes.
Okay? It was great. So
cheers. Legacy in Bloom.
Legacy in Bloom. Cheers. Yes.